Good morning. So, we are going to do reading today, reading, a little bit of listening, and I am going to talk about a method called SQW3R. SQW3R method that may be of use to you while you are reading a passage. We also have another terminology, skimming and scanning the reading text. I know that most of you in your day to day lives, you read a variety of texts. So, it is not just your engineering text, but as a well educated person, you should also be familiar with reading a variety of text, different kinds of text, so that when you appear for higher level exams, let us say competitive exams, international exams, these techniques may be of use to you. I will also touch upon note taking today, may not be able to go into it with too much of detailing, but we will touch upon it and then we will do more of it in our subsequent classes. And I will also start another area that would be of great interest to you, defining scientific concepts, and here I would ask you to keep consulting your dictionary. So, dictionary skills are extremely important. Remember, you have to, as higher order students, you have to be able to consult your dictionaries very frequently and very thoroughly, and I have already recommended a dictionary. Okay, so let us look at SQW3R. S stand for survey. So, the idea is that you survey the text, readers should survey the text for immediate information. What strikes you immediately? What is it about? Is it about museums? Is it about mosquitoes? Is it about earthworms? Is it about some new scientific discovery in applied mechanics? Is it about designing buildings? What is it about? So, immediate information. You should look at the title. So, survey, look at the title, subheadings, keywords and the highlights. Okay. A well written passage article will always have a summary in conclusion. Look at it quickly, look at it, summary, conclusion, and if there are graphs and charts which are very important in your discipline, graphs, charts and table, focus some questions on those also. That should be your immediate survey. Okay, and survey will also help you in getting yourself familiar with the text. For example, survey. So, here is a text, here is a very small passage. The main heading is History of the English Language, a short history of the origins and development of English. Look at the heading. Okay, the subheading also. Okay, so subheading of this book or this essay is a short history of the origins and development of English, and look at the key words. Let us read it together. Look at the slide please. The history of the English language really started with the arrival of 3 Germanic tribes who invaded Britain during the 5th century AD. These tribes, the Angles, the Saxons and the Jutes, crossed the North Sea from what today is Denmark and northern Germany. At that time, the inhabitants of Britain spoke a Celtic language, but most of the Celtic speakers were pushed west and north by the invaders, mainly into what is now Wales, Scotland and Ireland. The Angles came from England, and here is your square brackets, because why are we using square brackets here? Because this is not written by the author. Okay, so, someone has inserted just for the sake of revising, and their language was called English, from which the words England and English are derived. Now, what are the key words here? Angles, Saxons, Jutes, those are the key words here, that is important, and English of course. The English language and the extreme origin of it, and keywords are the races here, the Angles, the Jutes, the Saxons, Britain, if you want to add one more keyword to it. So, that is it, but not every word is a keyword. So, you look at this passage and you say the English language, Saxon, the angst and the jutes, and anyone will understand what it is about. Second important now Q strategy is for questions. So, survey and question. What question? So, it is important to have questions to you, that is ask questions yourself, and questions to yourself: what do I hope to get from this text? What am I looking for exactly? What is it saying? What is my past knowledge about the topic discussed in the text, and what has others told about this text, or what has others said about this text? So, these are the questions, and questions to yourself and questions to the text. Do I agree with what is being said? If it is a higher level question, you do not have to agree and disagree with, but there are times when you may be shown a passage and then you have to give your own opinion. So, look at it, and what are my points of agreement and disagreement. Now, a good reader will note down the questions. You can always make your thought balloons and fill those up and try to answer the question while you revise your notes. You have, okay, so you have a reading, and this is the first reading. See, the first reading requires focus. Reduce the speed of reading, read it peacefully, and at that moment, at that point, do not take notes. Take time to understand what the author says, and if you do not follow any word, look it up in the dictionary. That is a good strategy. As you finish, reflect on what this article has said and note down your question. Now, there is W, and W is write. Take notes in your own words, do not copy language. Try to summarize, try to derive at summary conclusion, and see if you are able to write your own subheadings, or at least follow the process of subheadings that the author has given, author of the text has given. And also remember, note making is important. You always make the key points, not everything. Second R, we have talked about 3 R's. So, recall. Now, recalling what? Remember, this is to assess how much you remember from reading. You have read a text already. What do you remember from that text about English? The origin of the English language. So, recall it. Keep away the text and notes and recall the details to prepare a new note. After you are done, compare it with the original note at the hand, and depending on the assessment, you can improve your understanding of the text. If required, read again those portions which you could not recollect. And remember, if the parts you could not recollect are of minor importance, they are not extremely important, then you may as well relax and do not pay too much, or do not fret too much about that. And the third R is review. Of course, revise your notes, try to answer the questions you have noted down, revise again. So, this is very important. Read, revise, take down notes. That is the key to good reading. I have already spoken to you about skimming and scanning. So, what is skimming? Skimming is, or skimming through the text is, to get the gist of what the article says. You have to look for keywords you read. So, skimming does not mean that you read something passively. You have to engage yourself, and if you are interested in a passage or a piece of writing, definitely you will be engaged with it. So, you have to be very clear about what you are reading and how it is going. You have to also talk about introductory paragraphs that usually provide the essence of what is given in the succeeding paragraphs. Usually introductory paragraph gives what the author aims to tell you. So, the passage that we just did is or was an introductory paragraph. It tells you what the essay is all about, what the article is all about. Article is about history of or origin of and growth of the English language. So, that is what you are supposed to do. See what the author is aiming to tell you. Author is going to just introduce that area to you, topic to you, and then you are expected to predict that this is going to be developed. So, prediction is another technique. We will soon come to that also, predicting while reading. Now, reading complete sentences, do we do that or do we not do that? That is the question. Now, the idea is sometimes we can predict that what is going to happen. So, let us assume that a paragraph or a line starts with so and so all the benefits of this of some let us say organic foods, and suddenly you come across a sentence that starts with on the other hand or in contrast. That means you can predict that now after the benefits come something that is opposite to what has been told to you already. So, you should be able to predict, and then just look at the next sentence. If you are short of time, running short of time, just predict what it is going to be all about. Okay. A useful technique in order to save time. So, reading complete sentences is not required all the time. Grasp the idea and skip to next. And then also extremely important, at the back of your mind, or if you are a good note taker, keep making notes and summarize each paragraph in bullet points. See, there is a key idea that you should always remember: bullet points while taking notes. If someone is asking you to take notes or write notes, or if you are being tested on note taking, then it is very important to take bullet points. But we do not use bullet points in serious academic writings. We do not give numbers A, B, C or 1, 2, 3 or the bullet points. Sentences should be running and complete. That is the key idea. Unless and until your supervisor, your guide has specifically told you that bullet points are allowed, try to avoid numbering and giving those lower cases alphabets and also bullet points. Good writing requires running sentences. Now, again look at this passage, which is a continuation of what we were doing just now, the history of the English language. So, this is another paragraph continuation. Now, Old English, I am reading it for you, please look at the text. Old English, and these are the dates. The invading Germanic tribes spoke similar languages which in Britain developed into what we now call Old English. Old English did not sound or look like English today. Native English speakers now would have great difficulty understanding Old English. Nevertheless, about half of the commonly used words in modern English have Old English roots. The words be, strong and water, for example, derive from Old English. Old English was spoken until around 1100. Now, what are the key words here? Old English. Old English is the most important a word here, and also the fact that it is who developed it? Who developed it? It was developed in Britain, but by the invading Germanic tribes. Okay, so that is very important to remember. And then native English speakers, that is also important, that is a key word, and very important term is that how difficult it is to follow. So, difficult to understand Old English. So, those are the keywords here. Now, here is an activity. I want you to read the passage and express the idea in bullet points. Okay, this is the link given. It is an article called newspaper article and it is written by Shubhashri Desikan in the Hindu paper, the science and technology section. Okay, and the article is titled A New Way to Turn Light into Matter. So, the first paragraph, I would like you to read the entire article yourself. I have already given you the link, but look at the first paragraph here. Let us read it together. Please look at the slide. The title begs the question, did older ways to turn light into matter exist? Well, that is exactly what photoelectric effect does. So, what is new here is that we are talking about using direct pairwise photon-photon interactions to produce electron-positron pairs, which has not been possible to achieve experimentally. Writing in Nature Phototonics, O.J. Pike et al. Of Imperial College London and Max Planck Institute Heidelberg have come up with a suggestion for an experiment in which this can be achieved. They further reiterate their idea by running a Monte Carlo simulation which demonstrates that the dominant channel with proper design of the experimental apparatus is the 2-photon Breit-Wheeler process of pair production. I would like you to write some of the key ideas in bullet points. Okay, this is your activity. Now, how do we do that? If you have been able to do it, good, but let me suggest some techniques. So, from the title itself, what do we learn? We learn that it is about a new way to turn light into matter. Think what were the old ways. This is important. What were the old ways? What innovation is the writer talking about? Now, go horizontally and look at the keywords. For example, photoelectric effect. What is new here? We get answer for this talking about using direct, pairwise, photon-photon interaction, etc. Remember, so that is the answer. And then another word, Heidelberg's experiment, Monte Carlo simulation. Okay, these are the things. As engineers, you should be able to respond to them immediately. Then go vertically and follow the same steps. Notice the keywords. So, first look at the paragraphs and then go down and see what are the keywords. So, skim through it and then notice this is, always remember, this is a skim reading. You have to increase the speed of reading. Now, I am giving you another interesting passage now. It is on this game called Sudoku. I am sure many of you are familiar and even play this game. So, please look at this passage. Let us read it together. Forget vitamins and exercise. If you want to stave off mental decline, try a Sudoku instead, say scientists. A review of various studies on how to preserve brain power found only a mental workout made a difference in later life. In Britain, around so many people have dementia, most suffering from Alzheimer's. Next slide. Some research has found exercise can cut the risk of dementia, while other studies suggest doing crosswords, playing cards or using a computer, but patients and doctors may find the conflicting information confusing, said Dr. Raza Naqvi of the University of Toronto, Canada, who led the review. His team looked at 32 trials involving about 25,000 healthy patients aged 65 or older. For the most part, studies of drugs, hormone therapy, vitamins and supplements, ginkgo, omega-3 and DHEA showed no positive effect. With physical activity, the evidence for benefits was weak, said the review in the Canadian Medical Association Journal. Only mental training, which featured in 3 trials, showed benefits every time. Dr. Naqvi said in one trial, participants had significantly improved memory during 5-year follow-up periods. Now, look at the passage and then answer the questions here. You are supposed to skim and answer, and very simple exercise. I want you to state whether the statements are true or false according to the text. Sudoku is better than vitamins and exercise for preventing brain decline, whether it is true or false according to the text. Yes, it is true. Alzheimer's disease is very uncommon in Britain. Is it true or false? It is false. The passage clearly says that many people suffer from brain disorder. Ginkgo and omega-3 have shown extremely positive results in improving brain power. Now, the What does it say? It says that there is very little scientific research to show that omega 3 and other so called supplements can actually yield in increasing brain power. No, it is not true. So, it is also a false statement. So, true, false, false. And then please look at the meanings of the following words: stave off conflicting information, dementia. Please try to understand the words from the context given, otherwise you should consult your dictionary. Let us move on to do another exercise now. Here is a letter from an airline to an irate customer. On behalf of Delta Airlines, I would like to extend my personal apology for the inconvenience you experienced as a result of the delay of flight number on February 21, 2011. In light of the current state of the economy and in today's competitive airline industry, travelers expect the best value for their travel dollar. Our airlines strive to provide this value through a mix of safety, on-time performance, courteous and professional service, and a wide range of destination options. We want to make travel on us a convenient and trouble-free experience for our passengers, and I am truly sorry we failed to do so on this occasion. Continue. To demonstrate our commitment to service excellence and as a gesture of apology for our service failure, I am adding 1000 bonus miles to your Sky Miles account number. These bonus miles and those earned on flights and through hundreds of partners can be used toward award travel on our airlines, our 25 partner airlines, and at Sky Miles Marketplace, a new program where you can redeem miles for car rentals, hotel stays, merchandise and more. Please visit us at our website to verify your mileage balance and to gain access to all of our mileage redemption programs. It is our goal to provide exceptional service on every occasion, and I hope you will provide us with an opportunity to restore your confidence. Your support is important to our airlines, our connection carriers and our Sky team partners. We look forward to your continued patronage and the privilege of serving your air travel needs again soon. As you can understand, here is the chairman or the manager is writing to a customer, and a customer must have, I am sure, written a letter that he suffered great deal of inconvenience because of the delay in flight. So, this is a response to that. Okay, and what is he trying to tell you? What is he trying to tell the passenger? So, here is a list of questions. Skim the text and answer the following. First is vocabulary. Number 1, something that annoys you or cause trouble, and the answer is given in the passage itself. Please look it up. Second, not on time. Third, dedicated, support and encouragement, and practice that contributes to the sale of products. Please take a quick look at the passage and try to find relevant words related here. Let me try to do some, let me try to support you here. So, something that annoys you or cause trouble, the answer is given in the text itself, it is inconvenience. Not on time is delay. Dedicated, where is the word related to dedicated? Let us look at it. Second slide. To demonstrate our commitment to service excellence. So, commitment is a sort of dedication. We are dedicated to serving you, that is the idea. So, support and encouragement. Let us look at second slide again. Look at the last line. We look forward to your continued patronage. Now, what is patronage? Support and encouragement. Now, the last one, practice that contributes to the sale of products. Again, look at the second slide. You have this lengthy line These bonus miles and those earned on flights and through hundreds of partners can be used towards award travel on our airlines, our 25 partner airlines, and at Sky Miles Marketplace, a new program where you can redeem miles for car rentals, hotel stays, merchandise and more. A merchandise one. Practice that contributes to the sales of products. Now, here is another set of questions. Please answer very briefly. Why is the writer apologizing? What does this airline strive to provide to its customer travelers, generally speaking? What is the customer being provided with as a form of compensation? He has been inconvenienced, so what is he being promised? And why is the airline providing these rewards to the passenger? What is the ideology or philosophy behind this? So, please look at it and try to solve this. From here we move on to another topic, note taking or note making. Now, why do we make notes at all? Note making is an important skill that helps us understand a text better or a lecture better. When we are listening to a lecture continuously, it is always good not to take down complete sentences, but more importantly the bullet points. Okay, just try to develop this technique, that what are the highlights of someone's lectures or a written passage. The purpose is to be of use in future. You are going to appear for an exam or maybe use it later in your life, and it is important to use it. So, therefore, you need notes. Hence, note making is a skill that one should develop to reproduce effectively the ideas read or heard in various papers or heard in lectures, and we are taking notes to remember the ideas, the thoughts, the concept, and not exactly, we do not remember this, and it is very important, we do not produce or replicate, it is not an exact replication or reproduction of what we have read or heard. While you make notes, there is no need to write down each and every word, this is important, and no need to write running sentences. Use symbols and abbreviations, and this is important. Symbols and abbreviations that are very comprehensible and that will help you in your speed note taking. For example, you know how to use, and I mean in your SMS and texting you use a variety of codes and symbols. So, I think it is a good idea that you start employing that, so that there is a sense of immediate recall when you look at it or consult the notes later. Color coding also helps. Sometimes students, I have noted, keep color pencils and they keep highlighting which is and they color it according to the themes that are being discussed, they make important details. All this helps in revising. And one serious issue that you have to remember is plagiarism. Remember that our aim is to remember the idea and not to copy. So, remember not to produce it. I am again giving you a very friendly warning that it is not at all advisable to reproduce exactly what the author has said. Otherwise, it leads to plagiarism issues, and always better to write the answer in your own language and develop your own ideas subsequently. We will be doing some practical examples of note taking also in our subsequent classes. I want to start a new topic, that is defining scientific concepts. Now, what are definitions? We know that definitions occur in technical writing because it is essential to define certain operations, machines, equipment, instrument, processes, etc. The thing to be defined includes description, and we begin with a general class. And so, a machine is a device, so that is a general class. Then in terms of its particular properties, qualities and uses. For example, if I ask you what is a, I do not have a whiteboard here, but what is a whiteboard? Okay, so what is a whiteboard? Now, whiteboard is generally defined as a kind of a pen board, okay, or a kind of dry whiteboard. Which could be any glossy and usually white surface for non-permanent markings. We use a marker, right, but it is not a permanent. So, we use it for marking. Now, generally we use it in a classroom situation, but nowadays it is very common to use a white board even in various other places, not necessarily in classroom. Now, look at this list, and I would like you to give me the general class of these words, and that is how we begin. So, a triangle, a square, who is a doctor, a cook, a pilot, a test tube, aluminum. Look and think about the general class of these. And next question is, I want you to match the following: an engineer, a school, gravity, a dynamo. And then against these there are certain, I have attempted to give definitions and see which fits there. So, let us see, an engineer, who could be an engineer here? Someone who designs machines, buildings and public works. What is a school? A school is a place, so that is a general category where children learn to read and write. So, what are the uses? Gravity is a force that attracts, so it is a force, remember. So, that is the general class, and what does it do? It attracts bodies from the center of the earth, and likewise dynamo is an instrument. It is an instrument, general class, that generates electricity. This is the way we give definitions. Now, I would like you to give the definitions of, let us look at this slide. A biologist, an amoeba, a circle, iron as in matter, a generator and a condenser. You may use your dictionaries if necessary. Now, let us move on to do some listening, and before I read out the passage, you will not be shown the passage that I am going to read out. However, I would like you to listen carefully to what I am saying. This, you can look at these questions here. Please look at the question and this slide. Later on, you will not be shown the slide when I start reading. What is the percentage growth for organic food in recent years? What role has environmental groups played in popularizing organic food? Name the 2 food products that are scientifically proven to be superior to non-organic foods, and give meanings from context: inflated, conventional, multitude. I am going to start the listening text. You will not be shown the slides here. I will be reading the passage, kindly pay attention to it and then solve the questions. I am going to start reading, you will not be able to see that passage. The health benefits of organic food are more based on perception than real facts. However, the public opinion that organic food is healthier than conventional food is quite strong and is the main reason for about 30% of growth in the organic food industry over the past 5 to 6 years. Much of this inflated support of organic food as a healthier alternative comes from environmental groups who do not want pesticides and fertilizers to do any more damage to the environment. So, promoting organic foods which do not use those types of chemicals seems like a good way to get the result they want. The producers of organic food are also very strong contributors to the idea that organic food is superior to other types. First of all, there is a small amount of scientific evidence to show that organic food is better in quality than conventional food. Scientific research conducted thus far on various organic food items has not been able to give strong evidence about the superiority of organic food over non-organic food. As a result, even the FDA and the USDA clearly mention that non-organic food is as healthy as organic food. However, there are some scientific studies that have proved organic milk and organic tomatoes to be better than the non-organic varieties. There is an ongoing research about a variety of other types of organic food that may have additional health benefits compared to the non-organic varieties. In general, organic food consumers, manufacturers and farmers strongly believe that organic food has several benefits compared to non-organic food. While there are plenty of arguments against the multitude of organic food being overpriced on the market, there is no denying that there are some benefits that can be enjoyed. Let us look at the questions. What is the percentage growth for organic food in recent years? And I think the answer should be 30%. There has been an increase from 5% to 30%, it is mentioned somewhere. What role has environmental groups played in popularizing organic food? You must write in your own language. The answer should be, and I can give you quickly the mental notes that I had prepared while reading, that because organic foods do not use pesticides, etc. So, therefore, environmental groups have been pressurizing a lot or have been publicizing organic food a lot. And name the 2 food products is clearly mentioned that are scientifically proven to be superior to non-organic foods, organic milk and organic tomatoes. Now, give meaning from context, inflated, conventional, multitude. You will have to listen to the passage again and then please use your dictionaries wherever necessary. Before I end, kindly look at this slide, and this is the recommended reading. Please look at these links that may be of some benefit to you. So, thank you very much. We will meet soon.